Have you ever walked into a place and felt like you didn't matter? Not like you're just a tiny speck in a big, empty space, but like you're standing there and somehow no one notices you. Before we jump into the story, tell us where you're watching from, and don't forget to follow so you won't miss more exciting tales. That's exactly how Emma Carter felt that day. After long, tiring days running her family's lemon farm in California, dealing with broken machines and late deliveries, Emma needed a moment of peace. Carter Grove was her pride, a sunny lemon orchard in her family's farming legacy. She arrived under the bright morning sun to check on the harvest, walking into the rows of lemon trees with their golden fruit shining. But the orchard was buzzing with chaos, workers shouting, baskets tipping over, laughter ringing from the tree line. She approached the main picking area where Riley, a new worker with messy red hair, a bright green bandana, and earbuds playing a loud eco podcast, stood with a big smile, scrolling her phone, fingers pausing on a #Save the Earth post. Emma tapped a crate lightly, voice calm. "I'm here to check the harvest, Riley. How's it going?" Riley looked up, eyes glancing over her, then froze. She tilted her head, a spark of recognition flashing. That blonde hair, that firm voice from the local news, Emma Carter, the farm owner. "Emma Carter," Riley repeated, polite but with a slight mocking tone. "Hold on, you Emma Carter, right? The big farm boss." Emma raised an eyebrow, not denying it. "I'm Emma Carter," she replied, voice steady. "Please update me on the harvest." Riley nodded, a smile lingering, but her tone turned to light sarcasm. "I'm so sorry, but I don't think we're on track. Maybe the team hasn't caught up. We focus on more earth-friendly workers, you know." The word earth-friendly hung there, heavy with meaning. Emma's lip twitched, sensing the attitude. "Earth-friendly," she echoed, voice sharp. Riley smiled sweetly. "Just our way. Hope you understand." The air in Carter Grove grew tense, a few nearby workers quietly turning, sensing the growing clash. Riley leaned on a crate, smile still there, but her eyes flashed with dislike as she looked at Emma, a well-known farm owner she clearly didn't respect. Emma's voice dropped. "You mean you're slowing my harvest because you don't like my methods?" Riley gave a small shrug, tiny but bold. "I didn't say that," she replied, still polite but with a mocking tone. "I just said the team isn't on track. We have standards, hey? Surely you get that with your big farm experience." Big farm landed softly, like a poke. Emma's lip curled into a tight smile. "I understand more than you think. I have the schedule right here." She pulled out her phone, swiping to the Carter Grove plan. "Emma Carter, harvest lead, confirmed." She held the screen toward Riley. "Check again, or explain why we're behind." Riley glanced at it, but instead of looking closer, she tapped a few lazy notes on her clipboard and shrugged again. "I'm so sorry," she said, voice dripping with fake kindness. "Still behind. Maybe you planned wrong, or someone changed it. It happens when workers don't fit our vibe." "Vibe?" Emma cut in, voice low and fierce. "You mean slowing my harvest because I don't follow your green nonsense?" Riley blinked, a flicker of worry in her eyes, but she quickly regained her confidence. "I'm not slowing anything," she said, tone flat, "but we focus on workers who care about progress, like saving the planet, clean farming, things maybe not on your list. Right, Miss Carter?" Emma laughed, a short, sharp sound echoing through the quiet orchard. "My list? You're picking a fight with me on my own farm." Riley crossed her arms, smirk returning, but her eyes burned with clear dislike. "I'm just doing my job," she said, "but if you want to talk about your farm, why not fix the schedule? I hear people like you are better at giving orders than solving problems." The words were like a spark on dry leaves. Emma had faced plenty of challenges on the farm, late rains, tough pests, but this smug attitude from a worker acting like an eco-hero was a new high. "Check again," she said, each word clear, voice icy. Riley sighed loudly, a dramatic huff of annoyance. She flipped through her clipboard slowly, then flashed a fake smile. "Still behind? I'm afraid you're not on track. Maybe because we don't support old ways like yours." "Old ways?" Emma repeated, voice dripping sarcasm. "You mean the hard work that grows these lemons, which you and your green friends are trying to mess up?" Riley's face turned red, but she didn't back down. "I'm not Tearing anything down, Riley shot back, voice getting louder. I'm saving this farm from people like you. Ones who don't care about the planet, workers' rights, and think they can boss everyone around with their big name. Emma stood taller, her green eyes burning into Riley. Saving this farm by slowing down my harvest because you don't like my ways. That's the fairness you're so proud of. Riley's lip curled, her tone now sharp with boldness. I get to choose how I work. This isn't the place for people like you. You should know that with that big farm owner title you carry. The remark was a sneaky hit, and Emma felt anger bubble in her chest. Interesting, she said, voice heavy with sarcasm. You knew who I was from the start and decided to mess up my harvest because you don't like how I farm. Who do you think you are, Riley? A worker or a self-made eco-hero? Riley blinked fast but stood her ground. I'm just doing my job, she said. If you don't like it, prove me wrong. I'm waiting. Emma took a step back, eyes locked on Riley. She pulled out her phone, fingers quickly scrolling through her contacts. Prove it, she repeated, voice low and dangerous. Fine. I'll show you what happens when you challenge me. Riley shrugged, her smirk coming back, but this time it shook a little. I'm not scared of you, she said, voice getting higher. You might own this place, but out here, I've got the power. Your power. Emma replied sharply. Emma stood by the lemon crates, her bright green eyes fixed on Riley, who had just thrown out a bold I'm waiting challenge. The Carter Grove orchard fell silent, the warm breeze rustling the lemon trees. A few nearby workers stopped picking, their hands full of yellow fruit, eyes glancing over like they felt a storm coming. Riley still had her arms crossed, smirk plastered on, but the slight shake in her voice when she said I'm not scared of you showed her fake confidence. Emma held up her phone, fingers flying through contacts, her gaze never leaving Riley, a look from someone used to solving problems with sharp focus. Sam, Emma said when her farm manager picked up, voice low but clear. I need you to check Carter Grove's work log right now. Pick his name, Riley. Look at her hours today. Sam, always ready from years of managing the farm, replied quickly. Got it, Miss Carter. Give me a minute. The sound of flipping papers crackled through the speaker, loud like a drum before a big moment. Riley blinked, her smirk fading. What are you doing? She asked, voice rising, losing its fake sweetness. Emma gave her a cold glance. I'm giving you one last chance to admit you slowed my harvest on purpose. If not, I'll prove it myself. Riley's lip twitched, trying to stay calm. Prove what? She said, a hint of mockery in her tone. The log doesn't show I did anything wrong, and I don't have to play along with your bossy games. This isn't a big office. No, Emma shot back, voice sharp with sarcasm. It's my family's orchard, and you just made it your fight. Big mistake. Her phone buzzed softly, a text from Sam popping up. Riley's log. Started at 8 a.m. Only 2 crates picked by noon. Others averaged 5. Notes, taking extra breaks to protest. Emma's lip curled into a smile, like someone holding the winning piece. She turned the screen toward Riley, voice steady but cutting. Look. Riley glanced over, her face turning pale at the line, taking extra breaks to protest. She blinked fast, fingers gripping her bandana. That could be a mistake, she stammered, voice shaky. I didn't slow anything down on purpose. Logs can be wrong sometimes. Emma cut her off, stepping closer, eyes piercing Riley like arrows. A mistake. Then why does your log show you barely work while everyone else picked twice as much? Don't lie. Riley stepped back, hands grabbing the crate for support. I was just resting, she said, voice weak. It wasn't on purpose. You can't prove. Emma laughed, a short, sharp sound echoing through the orchard, making a nearby worker drop a lemon in surprise. Can't prove it. I've got the work log right here. She switched to speaker, calling Sam back. Read it aloud, Sam, she said, voice icy. Sam's voice came through, calm but clear. Riley's log. Started at 8 a.m., 2 crates picked by noon. Others averaged 5. Notes, taking extra breaks to protest. No reason given. The orchard buzzed with whispers, workers exchanging looks. An older man nearby muttered, she's in trouble now. A younger woman shook her head but stayed quiet. Emma turned off the speaker, eyes locked on Riley. You knew I was Emma Carter and slowed my harvest because you don't like how I farm. This isn't a mistake, Riley. It's you, a troublemaker hiding behind eco-ideas. Riley's mouth opened, but no words came. Her face turned white, hands shaking on the crate. I didn't, she started, but her voice faded in the sunny orchard air. Mean to slow it down, Riley stammered, but Emma didn't let her finish. Slow what? Emma pressed, stepping closer, the scent of fresh lemons in the air. You knew who I was from the start and decided to mess with my harvest because I don't fit your eco-friendly mold. Who do you think you are? A worker or a self-made green warrior using my family's orchard as your stage? Riley backed up, eyes wide with panic. You don't get it, she said, voice shaky. I just wanted to keep this farm safe from people like you. Ones who harm the earth with old ways. Emma echoed, her voice dripping with sarcasm. You're not saving anything. You slowed my harvest because you don't like my methods, the exact thing you blame others for doing. You're a hypocrite, Riley, and I've got proof. She held up her phone, the glowing work log like a clear judgment. Riley swallowed hard, eyes darting for a way out. You can't fire me over this, she said, voice trembling. I have my rights. Emma cut in, a cold smile on her face. Your rights end where mine begin. You want to play farm games with me? Fine, but now the game's over. She swiped her phone, calling her brother. Jake, she said when he answered, I need you at Carter Grove right now. There's something you need to see. Jake's voice, deep and steady, replied, I'm on my way. What's going on? Emma glanced at Riley, eyes fierce. One of our workers just slowed the harvest because she doesn't like my farming ways. I've got proof. Jake paused for a second, then said, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Stay put. Emma hung up, setting the phone on a crate, eyes never leaving Riley. Riley stood there, face pale, hands shaking. You can't do this, she said, voice nearly a whisper. I was just doing my job. Emma tilted her head, voice low and strong. No, Riley, you turned your job into a fight against me, and now you'll face the consequences. She turned to the orchard workers, voice loud like a farm meeting. Anyone here thinks slowing a harvest over farming views is fair? Speak up. The orchard stayed quiet, only Riley's quick breaths audible. An older worker clapped lightly, muttering, She's right. A young woman shook her head but stayed silent. Emma turned back to Riley, eyes cold. You picked the wrong fight, she said, and when my brother gets here, you'll see the cost of your attitude. The Carter Grove orchard sank into a heavy silence, broken only by faint whispers from the workers, some curious, some nervous, some annoyed. Riley swallowed hard, eyes darting, her face pale after Emma publicly showed the work log proof. You can't do this, Riley repeated, voice weak, almost a whisper. Emma's lip curled into a cold smile. I didn't do anything. You did. The sound of heavy boots crunched on the date path, firm and steady, cutting through the orchard's tension. Jake Carter strode in, tall and commanding in a faded denim jacket, his dark hair streaked with gray, blue eyes scanning the scene like an eagle. The workers stepped back instinctively, some recognizing him as Emma's brother and co-owner of the farm. He marched straight to the picking area, eyes landing on Emma first, then shifting to Riley. What's happening? His voice was deep and firm, leaving no room for excuses. Emma turned to him, voice calm but sharp. Jake, your worker just slowed our harvest because she doesn't like my farming methods. She took extra breaks to protest. I've got proof. She held up her phone, screen still glowing with the log. Riley, 2 crates by noon, taking extra breaks to protest. Jake's brow furrowed, eyes darkening as he looked at Riley. Is this true? Riley blinked fast, hands trembling as they left the crate. I didn't, she stammered. But Jake raised a hand, voice like ice. I'm not asking if you did it. I'm asking if this is true. Riley swallowed hard, eyes searching for a way out. It was just a mix-up, she said, voice shaky. I didn't mean to. Emma cut in, voice sarcastic. A mix-up? You said that while I'm standing here, and the log shows you barely worked after starting your protest, right when I arrived. Want me to read the proof again? She swiped her phone, ready to call Sam, but Jake raised a hand to stop her. Enough, he said, eyes shifting to Riley. What do you have to say? Riley steadied herself, voice rising in defense. I was just doing my job, sir. I thought she didn't fit our vibe. She's against everything we stand for. Clean farming, sustainability, progress. I have my rights. Jake cut her off, voice dropping low and fierce. Your rights. This is my farm, not your protest stage. You were hired to pick lemons, not judge them. Riley's face turned red, eyes wide with panic. But she's Emma Carter. She stands for ways that hurt what we care about. Jake raised an eyebrow, eyes darkening. She's my sister, he replied, voice steady but sharp like a knife. And you just slowed her harvest on my farm. You think that was smart? The orchard buzzed, whispers spreading among the workers. His sister. But Jake ignored it, eyes locked on Riley. Emma stepped closer to Jake, voice low but firm. She didn't just slow the harvest, Jake. She turned your farm into her stage for her green ideas. She thinks she gets to choose how we work here based on her views. Jake nodded, eyes still on Riley. So it's true, he said, voice like a final call. You're done. Riley stepped back, face pale. What do you mean? She asked, voice shaking. Jake moved forward, standing right by the crate, voice loud enough for the orchard to hear. You're fired right now. Pack your things and leave in 10 minutes, or I'll get the crew to walk you out. The orchard erupted, workers' voices buzzing. An older man clapped, muttering, good riddance. A younger woman shouted, that's not fair. But Jake didn't waver, eyes cold. Riley's mouth dropped open, her eyes red and teary. You can't do this, she yelled, voice cracking. I have my rights. This is my space. Emma cut her off, voice sharp as a blade. Your space. This is my family's farm, not your eco-playground. Want to protest? Do it somewhere else. Riley spun toward Emma, eyes burning with anger. You're a bully. You think you can use power to control people. Emma smiled, a cold grin spreading across her face. I'm not controlling anyone. You slowed my harvest because you didn't like my ways. You made this fight, not me. Riley's hands shook, her green bandana slipping as she pointed at Emma. You don't care about the planet. You're ruining everything we've worked for. Clean farming, sustainability, a better future. Jake stepped in, voice booming over the orchard. Enough. You were hired to pick lemons, not to push your ideas. You crossed the line. Riley's eyes darted between Jake and Emma, her breath quick and shallow. I was just trying to make a point, she stammered, voice breaking. You can't fire me for that. Emma crossed her arms, her green eyes steady. We can, and we did. You don't get to mess with our harvest and expect to stay. The workers around them whispered louder, some nodding in agreement, others looking unsure, their baskets of lemons forgotten in the heat of the moment. Jake turned to the crew, his voice clay. Anyone else think slowing work over personal views is okay? Speak up now. The orchard fell silent, the only sound a rustle of lemon leaves in the breeze. Riley wiped her eyes, her voice a whisper. This isn't fair. Emma's smile faded, her tone firm but calm. Fair is working hard for the farm that pays you. You broke that trust, Riley. Jake pointed to the path leading out of the orchard. 10 minutes. Go. Riley grabbed her bag, her movements shaky, and stormed off, her boots kicking up dust as she left the sunny rows of lemon trees behind.